The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Podcast, a podcast dedicated to discussing all things Doctor Who, Big Finish, science fiction, and other things that tickle our fancy. I am your host, Brett, and in today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the RTD era and in more than one way. So stick around as I break down my list of the top 10 best written RTD Doctor Who shows, compare that to Screen Rants, as well as a discussion that came up in the Big Finish audio group that actually has some controversy and threats of being taken down. Who knows? Maybe the Big Finish listeners group admin has been, either possessed or has, tried to take over the audio group. Who is to say? Actually, I'll break into it. I have not fully gotten and dived into the whole situation. I do think it's quite interesting, and I do think it is definitely something worth talking about. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I break down my top 10 favorite RTD written stories for Doctor Who. All right. So, the RTD era obviously starts off in 2005. I did not include the audio/book written for the Virgin novelizations. I can't even think of what it is. I can see I've read both the book and also listened to the audio drama. And then I quickly sold the book for about 3 times what it's worth. And I didn't feel as though it's an okay story. And the audio was below what the actual book was, but you know what? It was a piece of its time. Then there was the Sixth Doctor lost story written by RTD that I could not even get through the first part of. It just was, I guess you could say, a thing of its time. And I didn't think it was done relatively well. However, again, that is just my opinion. So nothing from Big Finish is there. I just wanted to touch upon Big Finish before I go into my list. And then I will, I guess I will discuss and break down Screen Rant's list that was released in the 5th of September, 2024. If I do remember, I will include that into the show notes. So with that being said, I'm very impressed with my list. I have something from every single series that RTD has written, including one from each of his specials. So just to kind of tease where that's going to go, I would love to hear your thoughts regarding the RTD best written stories. And I will tell you when I get to the Big Finish audio group, I think it's going to be quite an interesting and compelling discussion. Would love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to be as level-headed as possible. I could try to go for the outrage, but I'm not outraged. So I'm just going to go for the fun discussion and talking points surrounding the show that I love, Doctor Who, the current and previous showrunner, who currently I think is a tad bit under fire, if you ask me. And I do think part of it is justified. But yeah. So number 10 on my list of best RTD shows is Wild Blue Yonder. Yeah, this is the middle of the 14th Doctor reuniting with Donna Noble. 10th Doctor Donna, 14th Doctor reunites with Donna. This is that second special in the middle. I feel as though it is the best one. Oftentimes people in discussions compare it to Midnight. I could not disagree more with that comparison because I strongly dislike Midnight. Just strongly dislike Midnight. I think that I think it's again more of, and what I've compared it to previously is it reminds me of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, and I love The Thing. I would love. I'm all into The Thing. I hope Dark Horse Comics, just a side note, will re-release the Thing, to be continued series in a trade paperback, because that needs to exist and be more available, because it is one of the uh, l- most underrated best horror movies of all time, in my opinion. But and I think that's kind of why I really like Wild Blue Yonder. Is it just reminded me of the the thing, the paranoia that is going on regarding the Doctor and Donna, not sure who is who or what is what, and to stop this entity from reaching Earth. And basically, what the previous crew of the spaceship that the Doctor and Donna landed on was doing before they decided to, I guess, end themselves in Fortnite. So, yeah, at number 10, Wild Blue Yonder. Number 9, in the third series, not that many representations in the third series, but this one I like. And you could say, well, Brett, perhaps you just like this because of RTD doing a shout out. And no, I actually don't. I like the story. I think it's quite an interesting tale revolving around space traffic. And that is gridlock. Yeah, they do have the macra in it. Yes, they are kind of more of a guest appearance, and they aren't the intelligent macro that we are used to from the Macroterra from the Second Doctor era. But again, it is just a fun story. It is something that, you really I find it so compelling as somebody who did have depression or whatnot. These mood patches that people would take in order to instantly feel relief, or you have the patches that are taken so that you can forget a traumatic incident, so that you can move on. And the unhealthiness surrounding that, I really like that part of the story. I do. The It does get quite silly, but again, Doctor Who can do silly well, but they also have a good story within it. We do get the face of Bo that is referenced, and then of course we later on get Jack Harkness as possibly being the future face of Bo. I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of that, but hey, if that's what RTD wants to do with the face of Bo, more power to him. I won't say no. I won't just be, enamored though at the. I won't be enamored though with the reveal of who the face of Bo is. There. Okay, I said it. Are you happy, Legion? Are you happy? Okay. Number 8. This is the only wait, is this no. Is this the only this is the only Christmas special that I have. This is my favorite Christmas special of all, and that is The Voyage of the Damned. I am a huge Titanic fan. If I'm ever going through the TV and suddenly the James Cameron Leonardo DiCaprio Titanic is on TV, I will have lost 3 hours of my life, because I will sit down and just watch it up until the old Rose dumps that priceless jewel in the bottom of the ocean. So I don't let it fester for a long, long time, but it is a really good. I do like it. I love the story of it. Uh, how sloppy people were, because we've come so far as a civilization, and how reckless we can get. Now with this one, it is not that way. It is basically a big corporation or an evil genius or an evil rich guy in a wheelchair. Oh my word. Evil rich guy in a wheelchair. Whoa. Oh, gonna definitely think twice about the guy in the wheelchair 3 blocks down. He might be evil. Um, but I really like, the story. I do like that they kind of have almost the robots of death back, sort of, in an AI generation type of a situation as the hosts of the Titanic. So I do love that. I have no idea. I've never heard of Kylie Minogue or whatever her name is. She's currently just floating around in space as a ghost. She's a space ghost, so good for her. But I do like that story, and then we kind of get the continuation of Wilf from time to time, which again we find out later on that he is Donna's grandfather. So again, and then there's just series 4. Series 4. And interesting thing, as I was breaking down, series 4 actually has, I think, about the least amount of RTD stuff written. If I'm just going to go on a side tangent, I'm just going to look at series 1. In series 1, we have Rose, The End of the World, Aliens of London, World War III, Longest Game, let's see, Boomtown, Bad Wolf, and Parting the Ways. So there's 8 out of 13 written by RTD. Then we have in series 2, we have The Christmas Invasion, New Earth, Tooth and Claw. Let's see. We have Love and Monsters, Army of Ghosts, Doomsday. So 6 right there. Series 3, we have The Runaway Bride, Smith and Jones, Gridlock, Utopia, Sound of Drums. Okay, so 6 for series 3. And then in series 4, we have The Voyage of the Damned, Partners in Crime, Midnight Turn Left, Stolen Earth. Okay, so besides the first series, everything else was 6 episodes written by RTD. Okay. All right. That was fun to just kind of like go through and just look at and consider what's going on. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So yeah, Voyage of the Damned, number 8 on my book, best of the Christmas, specials, New Year's specials too, by the way. Number 7 on my list is my favorite of the original specials back in 2010, which is Waters of Mars. I know this is co-written by Phil Ford, but I'm going to give this, it's RTD and Phil Ford. This is the best one. I'm going to give him the nod on that because it is written, not fully written, but written by them. And again, what I like with Wild Blue Yonder and Waters of Mars is Doctor Who when Doctor Who does horror well. Blink is the best episode. Again, that one's written by Stephen Moffat. But when Doctor Who does horror and it does it well, that is a very enjoyable science fiction. That's why I like the lost found footage episode from the 11th Doctor, Sleep No More, written by Mark Gatiss. I really enjoyed that one just because, again, it is a horror. It is found footage. Yeah, could it have been overdone? Yeah, it could have. But that being said, I really, Waters of Mars, when you can make the everyday thing of water terrifying. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Number 6 on my list, I have Rose. Now, here's the interesting thing. I looked at my list and I have a lot of first time companions meeting the Doctor on my list because the RTD era, the first part 1, did it so well. Rose, you met Mickey. We had the Autons in the first episode of Doctor Who. It was fantastic. I I love that. That's why I love not the terror. Yeah, I do like the Terror of the Autons. But the Auton invasion, I can't remember. Anyway, I really love the Third Doctor Auton stories, both of them. However, this one, for it being the introduction, I like that they also did not do a big alien, the Cybermen, Zygons. They did not do the Cybermen, Daleks. I said the Cybermen twice. I they didn't do reoccurring villains. They didn't do the Master in Rose. They did something that was very, um, I think, iconic of the Autons coming to life in the shop windows as mannequins, coming out and just mowing down people. I do really love that story, and I love and when I was in, High Street, Kensington, I love that I was able to walk the streets in which some of the Autons mowed down people too. It was fantastic. But that's just a point right there. So number 6, Rose. Number 5, this is the first of a couple end of series favorite episodes, and that is Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. So, this is the conclusion of the Ninth Doctor getting ready to regenerate into the 10th Doctor. Rose has taken in the heart of the TARDIS, and we have this two-part story that takes place on Satellite 5 in which I think it's Satellite 5. My brain is saying Paradise 5 from the Lost Stories. Yeah, Lost Stories. Anyway, I really love bringing that back to everything. We have the horrific things that were occurring in the 2000s, which have continued on. And that, my friends, is reality TV. Reality TV is probably the scariest thing ever. And so we have, Dr. Jack and Rose all in there. Rose is in the weakest link. We have the doctor in the Big Brother house, and then Jack is in some show that I've never seen before, but sure, I'll just go with that. And of course, Jack, and we find out with the 13th Doctor, smuggles things, rectally. Um, Oh, Jack and John Barrowman. They are the same person, probably. um, so yeah, that was number 5. Number 4 on my list. This next, my next favorite two-part series conclusion, and that is Stolen Earth: Journey's End. We have all of the classic. We have the classic companions from the which will be the Sarah Jane Adventures. We have well, no, is Sarah Jane? Because we got Luke, Sarah Jane's there. We also have Torchwood. So Sarah Jane season 1 has already occurred because Mr. Smith is there. We got K9. We got brought back. We have Martha there. Rose, was punching through her dimension cannon. You know what, Big Finish? You should make a series about not Rose going through dimension cannon. Just more Rose, maybe with the Ninth Doctor or something like that. That would be fun. I'm not sure if Billy Piper would be up for that, but that would be fun. I think continuing that duo would be great. Again, why hasn't Big Finish come back to the 10th Doctor and Donna? Those were the best box sets. I did like the Rose box sets. I don't think anybody's going to be clamming for. I hate saying this, but maybe it's just because Series 3 is just like the least rewatchable series for me, and that is the I was going to say Freema, but Martha and the Doctor. I'm not thoroughly too interested in that box set, but yeah, could we get more Rose and the Doctor, Donna and the Doctor, and let's leave the 14th Doctor out of this. Anyway, I can't handle the mavity of the situation. Number 3 on my list is Partners in Crime. Again, this is kind of like a introduction to the Doctor's future companion, which is Donna. Donna was the Doctor's semi-companion on, what was it called? It was the Runaway Bride with the third series Christmas special. I never really liked Runaway Bride. I did not like Donna in the Runaway Bride, but how she was written in series 4 clicked on all cylinders. Donna Noble is the best companion. Thank you, Catherine Tate. You did a fantastic job. I love the portrayal. I love the passion, and I love that there is no possible boot kicking in the TARDIS. It is two friends traveling through time and space together. And that is what makes Donna the best. And that's why the reintroduction in Partners in Crime, the antipose, I think so I'm not always for an alien monster that is kind of misunderstood. I sometimes think that just wears on me from time to time, but with this one worked quite well. So I do appreciate that. And I don't we don't need any more antipose stories, but this is just a good episode. I cannot wait for Big Finish again, maybe to do some more Donna and Doctor stuff, but hey, I don't know. Who am I to say? I'm just a guy with a wallet that has, dog-eared some money for the Doctor and Donna box set. That's all I am. Number 2 on my list, The Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. So this one might be a surprise because I think there's a couple of them that could have been a little bit higher than in other people's lists. This is my list. The reason why The Army of Ghosts and Doomsday is at number 2 on my list is because I absolutely love this. Was probably every kid's dream growing up in the 60s and the 70s and even in the 80s to see a story with the Daleks and the Cybermen. Kind of like how the comic range has kind of done a couple of Borg and Cyberman stories. This is fingers crossed, one of the best matchups of the two villains. And of course, RTD gives us the best character that is besides the Doctor and Donna that he's ever created. Well, he never created the Doctor, but so besides the Doctor, we get the second best character ever created in the history of Doctor Who. And that is Yvonne Hartman. Love Yvonne Hartman. She is fantastic. I cannot wait. I've not been able to listen to or have time to listen to Big Finish's most recent I Hate Mondays, Torchwood 1 audio. I cannot wait for that. More Yvonne Hartman, please. Please, more Yvonne. But yeah, that was a fantastic conclusion. And then you have the heartbreak of the very end where Rose, it gets pulled in from the void to Pete's world and is stuck there. Because again, that's where the Cybermen were hidden, as well as the Time Lord's capsule of, they basically, when you think about it, it's almost, RTD did the Phantom Zone with this, the Dalek thingy-mabob. It is the Phantom Zone. However, the difference between that is General Zod is by far a better character than any of the Daleks that came out of that thing. So yeah, fantastic story. That is my second favorite of all time, and I think best, 1-2-parter. I'm gonna actually have to re-listen to or re-listen. I'm so used to all the Doctor Who audios, but I think I need to rewatch Heaven Sent and Hellbent because there's so many people that just love that unapologetically, and I think I missed something the first couple times I watched it. So I'm gonna have to give that one because even though that's a Stephen Moffat one and my list is RTD, maybe I should do a RTD or Stephen Moffat top 10. Yeah, that's probably gonna be a thing that happens. All right, and my number one favorite episode that's RTD has written is If You Thought It Was Midnight, You Were Dead Wrong. It is Turn Left because I absolutely love the possibility of what would happen if you went the other way. What would your life have been like if you chose this decision instead of this decision? And I love the entirety of the what if situation and how it plays out in Donna's life, how like all these invasions that have occurred through series 1, 2, and 3 and up to 4, and it ends up costing the Doctor's life. He doesn't regenerate, and just all the the It's just a fantastic story. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite Dr. Light episode ever. Ah, okay, companion heavy, I guess you could say, because Blink is probably the best Dr. Light, but that's also Dr. Light companion light episode, and this one is a companion heavy Dr. Light episode, or Dr. Barely Even There episode. So yeah, I do like Turn Left. That is my number one. So that being said, Screen Rant on the 5th of September 2024 published a 10 best Doctor Who episodes written by Russell T Davies. They say at the very beginning of this article, Russell T Davies' Doctor Who episodes are like no other in both his past and current era as showrunners. The lead writer is responsible for some of the greatest Doctor Who stories of all time, and without his efforts, the show would have never been rebooted after its 1989 cancellations. Totally agree with that one right there. The incredibly talented Davies is behind some of the most impactful episodes of the show, as well as the creation of so many top-notch storylines and excellent companions. Despite writing so many great pieces in the past, and then allowing Stephen Moffat and Chris Chibnall, oh, sorry, I had to almost like withhold vomit right there, to take the reins, Davies is still drawn to Doctor Who and has recently returned as showrunner because Chris Chibnall killed the show. Doctor Who series season 15 will start Christmas Day 2024. Oh, that's when the official, okay. The second holiday special for Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor. While it's expected to be another spectacular Doctor Who story, it faces significant pressure to be as good as Davies' best episode. So here is the 10 best episodes of Chris Davies. Whoa, that was a brain fart. Stephen Davies. I don't know. Yeah, RTD. Number 10 is Boomtown. They say Boomtown is a fantastic standalone episode, which sets up the overall tone for the finale the finale of Davies' first installment of the show. There's plenty of great qualities about this episode. For example, the cheesy yet iconic Slitheen, Rose Tyler stapled 2000-esque costuming, Captain Jack Harkness and Mickey Smith's interactions, and the first appearance of the Pit. Let's see. And the first appearance of the Pit Stop Cardiff Water Tower. Okay. Yeah, I don't put Boomtown anywhere close to my top 10. But yeah. Number 9. Oh, hey, look at that. They got the Wild Blue Yonder, one of the 60th anniversary specials. They say on this, the Wild Blue Yonder contains one of the best quotes of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials, the origin of the Mavity joke. This episode is the classic Doctor and Donna adventure. That's another reason why I like it. It is also their first after years of regenerations apart. So what's so strong about Wild Blue Yonder? However, it's mainly just the legendary duo throughout. The story allows the pair to properly catch up and reflect on times they missed together while trying to avoid the mysterious threats that they can't initially locate. Okay. Number 8, The Runaway Bride. Yeah, I would not also classify this on my list just because, again, I found Donna, even though this is a favorite companion of all time, with Nyssa and Sarah Jane, like close second, tied for second, and with Jamie in there also. But yeah, Donna, best companion of all time. But I could not stand Catherine Tate's Donna at that point in time. So yeah, disagree with that. Number 7, Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways. Ooh, so I got mine at number 5. They have theirs at number 7. It says the Doctor Who's season 1 two-parter Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways is Davies' first final finale and Christopher Eccleston's last story as the Ninth Doctor. It's clear that a lot has gone into the episodes, especially the wrap-up of the first installment and the shows after. Of the show after the 2005 reboot. Its story is brilliantly reflected of the times. Okay, number 6, Stolen Earth, Journey's End. All right. Okay. So I went back to back with those two too. Great. Congratulations, Screen Rant. You kind of have a good list. Number 5, Waters of Mars. Ooh, okay. So you have put that a little bit higher than me. It says the Doctor's scariest episode from the Tennant era is easily, I disagree. Blink is the scariest, but this would be the scariest one written by Stephen RTD. Says with Waters of Mars, a one-off special set after series 4. The episode is one of the few stories that Davies co-wrote. The Waters of Mars is a crucial episode for the 10th Doctor's development and hugely contributes to the Time Lord Victorious character arc. One of these days I might listen to the Time Lord Victorious, but yeah. Number 4, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Hey, I like that they have these almost in the same exact order that I have, except, I have mine a tad bit higher. So again, it says Tennant's first Doctor Who finale, the two-parter, is a heartbreaking installment of the show. Rose Tyler's departure from the show is hard on the audience and the Time Lords, especially as it happens because of one of the biggest battles Earth has ever faced. Davies once again reprises certain storylines and villains from the season with the return of the Cybermen, Pete's World Cybermen. Okay, all right, Screen Rant. Number 3, Series 14, Season 1, Season 40. 73 yards. There's still plenty of unanswered questions about Doctor Who's 73 yards, but it isn't a bad thing. Davies is known for creating multi-season mysteries, and even though Ruby Sunday has not met her mother, yeah, or maybe we haven't seen that yet. Viewers know that as of that episode. Gotcha. Viewers know that there is no such more to that there. Viewers know that there is so much more to learn about the 15th Doctor's first companion. In the span of one episode, an entire lifetime goes by for Ruby after the Doctor vanishes. Her separation from the Time Lord throws Ruby back through a normal life. However, 73 yards is different compared to previous episodes that play around with the same concept. Yeah, there's so many people that do not like this episode. There's so many, even you massive Doctor Who fans that have massive problems with this. And I know because I've watched their YouTube video trying to figure out what the heck is going on with 73 yards. Number 2, they almost got this one right. Screen Rant, you almost got this one right. Number 2 is oh, crap. I know what their number 1 is. Number 2 is Turn Left. Should be number 1. But I know what your number 1 is going to be. Turn Left is another amazing Dr. Light episode. Again, not Dr. Light, Dr. Barely There. And one that also delves into alternative timelines for one story. After an alien soothsayer manipulates Donna, her entire past changes and sends her off on a path which she never meets the Doctor, the runaway bride. Because of this, not only does Donna's life change, but the entire universe does too. Turn Left continues to push the narrative that Donna Noble is the most important woman in the history of the universe. So I guess we could say, she's not the mystery girl, kind of like with what's her face? I can't even think of her name from Matt Smith's season. Anyway, not her, and definitely not the other one. Why can't my brain has just died? It has died and it hasn't come back. Just scream at the your MP3 player, and I'm pretty sure I will instantly remember who I'm. Amy Pond. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. She's not the mystery girl. She's also not Clara Oswald. There we go. Again, thank you. Appreciate you screaming at your MP3 player. I heard it through time and space, and it just mentally that word went into my head. So yes, thank you very much. But yeah, it sounds like, according to Screen Rant, that she was the first Impossible Girl. But I guess, unlike the Impossible Girl, we didn't know that she was impossible or whatever until, well, we kind of had, like, the Ood message throughout the entirety of series 4. So maybe we did kind of know that she's kind of special and whatnot. Anyway, I was wrong. Congratulations. All right. I'm so glad that that wasn't Midnight. Number 1 is Midnight even written by RTD? Let's see. Let's just look at this. Midnight, Midnight, Midnight. Yes, it is. Wow. Wow. Or if you read it upside down, Mom. So number 1 on Screen Rant's list is The End of Time, Part 1 and 2. They say the 10th Doctor's last story is the two-parter End of Time, the last episode of the post-season 4 specials. Tennant's final bow is a fantastic adventure, and you almost wish that he never came back from it. And reunites him with the John Sims Masters. Again, John Sims Masters, not the biggest fan of it. I think Missy is the better master. And then when we get John Sims back with the 11th or 12th Doctor, I feel as though John Sims actually is a fantastic master. Sasha Dwan's master, he was, guided and led by Chris Chibnall. So, there's that, sadly, against him. And not him as a person, but him as, being heralded as one of the better masters. So, you know what, sometimes when we, make a mistake or something like that, we can only go into the mirror and just point at the reflection that we see and say, this is all your fault. However, all he has to do is go to a police lineup, go through one of those see-through mirrors and point at Chris Chibnall and says, this is all your fault. And that would be correct. So it says, the end of time kicks off the fallout of the events from the waters of Mars and the Doctor's realization that he needs to move on from all the chaos and heartbreak of the 10th regeneration. And of course, because of that, we have to completely wipe out all of the Doctor's characters to move it to Disney and the 15th Doctor. Even though he still has some of those characters, we were supposed to move on from them, but we didn't because reasons. But yeah, so that is Screen Rant's top 10 best written episodes by RTD. I would love to hear yours. Please email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. And I do get the messages when you message the videos that are on YouTube. So you can get to us from that as well, too. Just a current check. No messages as of date of recording, which is the 27th of September. So that being said, I'm going to move now to this. This is quite interesting. So on the Big Finish audio group, we have a screenshot of the Dark Eyes 2 Times Horizon by Matt Fitton. And the poster says, Doctor Who, Dark Eyes 2, Time Horizon, proper Doctor Who, ! RTD Part 2 really nicked. Sorry. They didn't put the ED. They put nick bits of this for the Wild Blue Yonder, perhaps, ? But this is much better. Eye emoji. All right. So let's look at this because, I'm thinking that, and I also laughy face emoji somebody too. So there is a chance that I get kicked out of this group, which I would find hysterical also. Let's see. I'm going to go to all comments because of reasons. So, somebody put too much negativity about the man. Not everything RTD lands, but when it does, it's thermonuclear. I just barely did an entire top 10 list of RTDs, and thermonuclear. Turn left, yes. Army of Ghosts, Doomsday, yes. Partners in Crime, fun, not thermonuclear. Stolen Earth, Journey's End, fun, devastating, not thermonuclear. I actually would have to say Waters of Mars is more thermonuclear because of just how dark and horrific it is. I would only classify 3 stories as thermonuclear in the RTD era, part 1 and part 2. Interesting. So it was replied by the person who posted. It was like, and here is where we're off to the races. Um, massive overhyped aside from Damaged Goods. That's the one I was thinking about, the book and the audio. Besides from Damaged Goods, Rose and Midnight. Okay, strongly disagree with that one. Most of his stuff is fluff. No world building skills, hence he always sets stuff in contemporary Earth. Interesting. All right, let's dig into this fight. All right. It says, turn left, Waters of Mars, 73. Half of Children of Earth. Okay, Children of Earth, Series 3 of Torchwood. I'm not the biggest Torchwood fan. I've let it be known in the podcast. The only thing I've ever really liked from TV is Children of Earth. So turn left, Waters of Mars, 73 yards. Half of Children of Earth were overhyped fluff, apparently. Okay, 73 yards. That has so many Doctor Who fans. And this person replies 73 yards with tons of emojis that I'm going to like this. I'm anticipating being kicked out of this group. Maybe I'm gonna have to see if I break any rules. I like keeping on topic of Big Finish, but it pains me to see people defending 73 yards. Oh. And putting it up there with the best of New Who. It is so dull. It's just random stuff happening with no attempt at an explanation. RTD said it was one of the best things he's ever written, but it was one of the dullest pieces of television I've ever seen in a long time. It is for then fair enough, but there is no argument for it being clever or engaging writing. All right. So I understand 73 yards, according to this person, is a contentious for some people. Didn't see an argument against the rest, so I assume there isn't one. Okay. All right. All right. Then he says, this person needs to be called out for his ludicrousy and ludicrously ignorant and disrespectful power trip he is on. Not a care given to the fans, how he's treating the show now. Okay, so now we are discussing and criticizing RTD currently. And it is replied again, do elaborate on this power trip nonsense. As of day of recording, there is no reply to that. DE was a long time ago. Wait, what bit did you think he nicked? Oh, what's DE? Not Damaged Goods. What am I missing? That's DE. All right, whatever. Let's see. Where was it? Because I did see this, and this is when I'm like, okay, we need to really talk about this because it gets really, really. Oh, okay. Here is the admin. Okay. Let's see. So the person who started this post, admin comes in. For some reason, I currently lack the ability to remove posts without banning the author. So I'll give you a chance to remove or correct this yourself. Oh, firstly, if you are going to post a picture of an audio play, you need to state which play you're discussing. Our visually impaired members can't tell from the image. Okay, so maybe he updated it. It doesn't say it's updated, but he did put Doctor Who Dark Eyes 2 Time Horizon. So I'm not sure if that was updated or whatnot, but it is up there. Secondly, discussion of the merits or otherwise of the TV episodes is off topic for this group. Oh, yeah, I laughy faced emoji. So, who knows? I might not be long for this Doctor Who Big Finish audio group too. But you know what? It's been a fun ride while it lasted, right? Somebody put tagged wrong person in there, mate, not my post. Oh, oh, he must have corrected it then. Let's see. All right, let's see what's going on here because we got 9 replies. So admin apologizes. Let's see. I'm quite sure I saw an entire post yesterday about a dude asking other people to check out their original audio sci-fi series that's not only had nothing to do with Doctor Who, but Big Finish either. Was that article removed as well? Just asking out of fairness. So somebody has this poster's back. And he says no, because the group published rules allows for one-off advertising of personal creative projects that are sci-fi or audio drama adjacent. So it says, hold up, you can now self-plug non-Doctor Who projects, but people are not allowed to talk about the Doctor Who TV show within an audio Doctor Who article? Oh. So, admin back says, per the group's published rules, one-off posts about projects that are legitimate interest to the group are allowed. The reasons that discussion of TV series isn't that it that a sorry isn't it is that it rapidly takes over the group, and B, it rapidly descends into people ranting about how much they hate given showrunner and or groups. Okay. And then it's a it said the post the original poster or one of them says, "I'd be careful with the wording of that last point. Many people like myself who passively express their frustrations on the current state of the show are not attacking the groups of people. May for many it's simply the writing, not the agenda. The amount of times I've had to shut people down for labeling me as phobic and istic and phobic for saying Doctor Who shouldn't fall into romance so quickly." And he gives the Rogue as an example. So I'm going to like that too. I am going to be kicked out of this group, probably. Um, Finally, somebody gets back to the actual Dark Eyes and says, I could not take the companion, the Tardy Box Man, the Timey Lord. Oh, yeah, Time Lordy. Okay. Oh, that's what it stands for. Dark Eyes, DE. Gotcha. All right. Okay. So, yeah. um Somewhere it was there and I think it got removed. Somebody accused RTD within this post and I think it got removed because I did see it and that was a thing that got me interested in this. But there was discussions about how RTD was lazy and actually stealing people's or previous works and whatnot. And they cited not the Wild Blue Yonder, but the Star Beast, Beep the Meep. And, I think we're getting a little bit too carried away and stuff like that. Beep the Meep originally appeared in a comic strip. That is perfectly fine. He first initially met the Fourth Doctor in a very kind of similar place, landing in Black Castle during the 1980s. And then that comic strip turned into a BBC or not a BBC, a Big Finish audio drama entitled Doctor Who and the Star Beast. While the accounts and then the Star Beast that came out in 2023 during the specials was obviously the 14th Doctor, and they landed in London. And so the Meep's gender, according to this, it was a he, him in the comic books in the 90s, and now in current, it is I have no those are not my pronouns again, which I I think, and I personally agree that constant talk about that just gets exhausting. Like, just let's have fun storytelling. Let me get lost in worlds. Let me not think about the like arguments that are going on in this earth, in this world at this time, on social media, in grocery stores and stuff like that. Um, and then so you have, yeah, at one point in time, and yeah, it's gone. There was a initial discussion about RTD basically, and I have made mention that he has kind of, I would say, copied his own homework for this RTD part 2, where he's kind of done similar styles revolving around themes from the masters, from the toy makers' hidden message in whatever that one was, because I hated that so much. With similarly with Utopia and the series 3 master storyline, I feel as though he's copied his homework. He might have used certain things. And I think, and here's what I did. I even pulled up my good friend Copilot, because I do like it more than ChatGPT. And I asked, because it was discussed in the group before it got deleted, has Russell T Davies copied previous Doctor Who stories during his time as showrunner? Copilot, again, not perfect, came back and said RTD is known for his creative storytelling, has indeed revisited and reimagined certain elements from classic Doctor Who stories. However, this isn't so much as copying as it is about paying homage and bringing fresh perspectives to beloved concepts. For instance, Davies brought back the iconic villains like the Daleks and Cybermen and reintroduced the Autons in the very first episodes, and series of the revived series. He also explored themes and settings that haven't been touched upon in classic series, such as the destruction of Atlantis, which has been depicted multiple times in Doctor Who history. Davies himself has mentioned that Doctor Who's flexible nature allows for revisiting and reinterpreting past stories. He believes that if a great story idea comes up, even if it's been done before, it can be worth exploring again with a new twist. Okay. So I do think that he has gotten a tad bit lazy. I think that we need fresh blood. To quote Liam, as I constantly complain about who are you and why are you writing for Big Finish, that's been one of my complaints. Liam is just like, we need fresh blood. Okay, I think we need more fresh blood. I'm glad that he's a fan. I'm glad that he saved and brought back the series in 2005. Fresh blood was, I guess you could say, Chris Chibnall and Stephen Moffat. But then to go back to RTD, I think that was a Hail Mary. To go back to to the David Tennant Doctor was also a Hail Mary. And I think season 1, series 14, season 40 was not a success. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for season 2, series 15, season 41, as we get closer to the eventual Christmas special. I don't know where I'm going to be at regarding the show. I've basically kind of, pieced out personally, but I am always up to revisiting and open for, the show that I love and watching it. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts about this supposed controversial? Because at one point in time, I was going to. The discussion was RTD a plagiarist, and that's what was on the Facebook audio group. And I believe that conversation or that member has either been the member has been the thread. Part of that thread has been deleted, and maybe not, since I've been looking at it and refreshed the page. He may or may not have been removed from the group completely. So it's going to be quite interesting again. So thank you for listening to the Dr. Alhambra podcast. Please like, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment down below if you're watching on YouTube or watching/listening to YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, and until next time, we will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.